for reference, it was my birthday 4 days ago, so now I'm 19. That's how time works. That's mad. Instead of me just rambling for a bunch of, I'm not looking at the camera, hi. Instead of me just rambling for a bunch of, like, I don't know, minutes and stuff, whatever, I'm actually going to be showing you something kind of cool. I don't know. It's the games I've made for college. My final major projects over my 2 years at college doing a games art course. I have my issues, and then they're not, I don't know. You see. But anyway, yeah, let me just, I have to stop recording and then move to, can I, wait. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Oh my god, that's so cool. Okay, the first game I made for my final major project is a game called Mirage. I remember it was quite rushed, I guess. I spent so much time on the general look of the game, the art style, the background, the stuff like that. And since it was made in Unity, I couldn't, I didn't know how to code. I was quite dumb. And so it didn't really make a good thing. That right there is actually the background I made for this game. I made a massive poster, colored it with ink of like the setting, the background where you play in the game. Okay, so if I've done everything right, you can see the game. Now what the game is basically a walking simulator. You have point A where you start and point B where you gotta go, where you win the game, and you gotta make your way through this asylum to basically win the game. And there's no music, there's no menu. When you open the game, it just launches you into this. Now you can see there's no walking animations. Yeah, I did have walking animations. I just didn't have time to like code it in. I made the textures for it, but I just spent so much time on this background, and I had like very little experience with Unity. But it doesn't mean I did bad. I got the highest grade I could for it, which I don't know how, but from what I wanted the game to be to how it is now, it is quite different. I obviously didn't. I wanted it to be a lot better than this is. The way I wanted it to be is that you would have these sections that are divided on the map, and you would need to get keys to unlock the other section. So you'd have to explore each room, and there will be little puzzles, little items you collect to help you unlock and progress to the next section to help complete the game. But obviously I couldn't do that. Yeah. So what I ended up doing, because I really didn't just want it to be just like a maze, I ended up making it so some of the doors you go through, they don't always lead you to the exact same place you came from. They can take you to a different part of the map. And my friends actually found this quite annoying, and it was I didn't really think about it, and it is a bit annoying. It probably would have been better if it was just a maze. There's no music. I didn't add any sort of sounds or anything. It was so hard just to get this E. I'm pressing E. You have to press E to go through the doors. Just so hard. But this is not the technically first game I've made, because I did a group project, but solo, yeah. And I like the look of it. It's just it's bare bones. It's a real nothing burger. It's quite kind of hard to see what walls are which, like that right here. You can see there's a wall there, but when I was painting this, I didn't think too much about the line consistency. It's quite inconsistent, and I think it kind of adds to the game, but it also kind of makes it hard to maneuver. I did kind of want that feeling though. I kind of wanted the game to make you feel that you were going in, kind of like not knowing what's real. The idea was based off games like Never Ending Nightmare and Frambo, but obviously it kind of has the look, but it doesn't have anything that makes those games, special, which I can't be too harsh on myself for. It's my first thing ever, and I don't know, I just didn't have enough time. I didn't have the skill or time to properly push it out. I mean, I only had from February to June, which it's a bit, I feel like if now I could probably do something a lot better, but at the time I just didn't have the skill. Also, another thing that really annoys me, there's meant to be text around the screen, instructions that tell you what to do, and it was meant to have the controls and how to progress through the game, what you're meant to do in the way I had it in this final version, but it's basically nothing. You see these little shadow versions of your character. When you see a lot of them, that means you're getting closer to the end, and they're meant to be like a little guide. You could just see there, it's teleporting me over there. No, yeah. I really wanted this to have a lot of story because of like Frambo and stuff. I definitely had a lot of ambition for it, and that's good. I couldn't obviously get into it, but it was good. It's I feel like it's a little nugget. This game's a little nugget of what I wanted going on. I remember another thing too that took really long was doing the walls, because it's obviously a very organic and not organic at the same time kind of wall thing. It would be really hard to just place walls everywhere just because of the way it is. And I remember trying to, I forget what tool I used to make the walls, but it was it took a really long time. It's like some sort of pivot kind of thing. I can't remember, it was ages ago. There's a thingy there. It took so long and it was kind of lagging the game. This game is really big, and that's because of the background. The picture of it was taken on a really good camera, and I'm not sure how it works now, but what it's explained is how the guy explained it to me. The guy who took the picture said there's a PNG version and there's this raw version, and it turns it into a PNG. You can censor it down so you can use it, but the raw version, it has a lot more detail and it's a lot more data. It's just so much more. And I used that one because I wanted the most detail in my game, but it caused my game to be quite laggy, I guess. The game was meant for an end of year show, which it did get displayed, and people liked it. I think people played it, and people did like the look of it. That's what I mean by the map being kind of not that good in the sense of knowing where you are, because that right there, it's a wall, but you can't tell because of there's nothing where it just looks like it blends in with the floor. So that's a kind of a big issue. It's quite easy to get lost in this. But I kind of wanted, I noticed a lot of people were playing this and they were getting lost, and I kind of did want that, but I still wanted it to be like, oh, you know where you are, like right here. It's so hard to tell that there's a wall there. You can only barely make it out from the line in the middle and the door, but other than that, yeah, there was meant to be a lot more things in the map. There were meant to be enemies, pillars, a lot more assets to help fill out and make it more lively. I think it's alright, you know. Like in terms of looks, it looks pretty good, but in terms of functionality and gameplay, it's dead. But you know, what can you expect? It's my first thing, really. And going into my second year of game art, I wanted to really focus on, I guess, making it function, making the game work, because I couldn't for the life of me make keys work for the game, making a locked door, and there were no tutorials that could get it right the way I wanted it to. So in the next game I'm about to show you, I strive for functionality over aesthetics, I guess. At least that was my original plan. One sec. I remember I put this in because it's like, oh, it takes you back to the thing. Yeah, it's basically, but okay. I'm done rambling about this game. Let's move on. Let's move on from Emily Gravestone. Bye bye, Emily. Blech.